Who decided to put a friggin' V8 in a transit van?
So a bit of an update then. The old carb that came with it, I might have explained, was not in the best of condition. A couple of bits missing. One of those is the choke. So it took me about 20 minutes to get it running nicely. Obviously I needed to get it warmed up, so the fuel mixture was wrong, and that's because the choke plate was missing. It's also got some damage to the sight holes on the fuel bowls, so I wasn't very happy with it. I looked at getting a rebuild kit. Rebuild kit was about 70 quid. Then I needed extra bits on top of the rebuild kit. I needed the choke flap, I needed the choke flap, and I needed all the bits to basically build a new choke. I priced all that up. It was about 120 quid. Also, somebody's robbed the airbox off this, so I didn't have an airbox either. Didn't have an air filter. Did a little bit of searching on, went on eBay, and I found a Holly carb for sale literally within an hour of me. So I messaged the guy, made him an offer, got a good price, went down, met this bloke. He said to me, come down, have a little look around my yard, you might find some other bits you like. Jesus, I got there, honestly, I've never seen anything like it. So as I pull into the place, mouth wide open, couldn't believe what I was seeing. Absolutely immaculate Ford RS200, brand new, like as in a genuine RS200. So yeah, I had a good old look around that, had a chat with the guy, lovely bloke, got a couple of bits. Yeah, there we go, we've got a nice new car. Well, it's not new obviously, but relatively new. Most importantly, it's got a choke on it, it's got everything I need, and it came with this. Look at that bad boy. I'm pretty much now good to go, I think. So hopefully we'll get the old one whipped off now, get this on. I can connect up the choke and get that set, so that will obviously all need setting up. Right, first things first, we need to set our idle air control mixture, or idle air circuit. We've got one on this side and one on this side. I think it was fitted to a 5 litre Granada, so the settings are probably going to be wrong. I hope you like my beach towel that was stolen or temporarily acquired. Right, let's see where we're at. Half, one, half. Oh, we're good. So that was pretty much set at factory settings, which is a damn sight better than the last carb. So half out, one, half. So that's 1.5 turns out on that side. Let's see what this side's on. Should be the same, but half a turn, one turn, half a turn, and one. Yeah, it's about another 50 degrees, 60 degrees there. So right, so that's all the way in. So let's reset that to 1.5, half, one, half.
I can't take it anymore. My mind's about to go to war. I need someone to save me from myself, to hear me cry when I call out for help. I blame it on the voices that are in my head.
The modifications have begun. So this one falls on this union here for the coolers. It's also redundant in ours, we don't need it. Bonded in, I couldn't get it out. I tried a little bit of heat, didn't want to go any further. So I've cut the top off, stuck a bolt down the inside, just filled it up with epoxy resin, which is just about gone off. So that system is now blanked off, redundant. We've obviously got a blank on that one. So we should be good to go. The joys of the Frankenstein mobile. I've now discovered some things. So the old carb didn't have a choke system on it. The new carb does have a choke. The reason the old carb doesn't have a choke is because the Holly carb does not fit on this inlet plenum because it fouls here. All of that there, all of that on that side is removed from the old carb. And I was like, why would someone steal that? Turns out they haven't. Rather than someone making it fit, they've basically just removed it all, which, honestly, whoever's owned this before, it must have just been a nightmare to start. Back to the drawing board and probably the angle grinder. Who said this was going to be easy? Well, I didn't, but it isn't easy. Nothing fits. Nothing is right.
I'm going to do a test fit of the air filter now. This new nice shiny air box that I've got. We'll see if that fits. We'll see if it fits, but I don't think it will. Because nothing fits, does it? Not even close, man. You know what? Here's what it could look like. That's what it could look like if it fit, but it doesn't. Who decided to put a friggin' V8 in a transit van? It was a good idea at the time, but...
No real normal air filter is going to fit in there. So I think I'm going to have to modify something. I'm going to have to get something sort of custom made or something. I've even thought about having it so that it pokes out of the bonnet. Looks a bit gnarly, doesn't it? Because we've got these scoops here, I thought that would look good with louvres on, so that we're drawing hot air out of the top. But you know what? I don't want to ruin it. But it would be quite nice to have a little nod to, you know, what it's got underneath. Obviously, I've got some ideas, some little subtle. I'm probably going to have powered by and then the Rolls-Royce logo. But yeah, I don't know what to do about this air filter. I'm going to have to ultimately, so this inlet here, this bit here, look, you see that little bit of scoring? That is where the old throttle linkage, this side of the throttle linkage is fouling on there. Now what I imagine is, in the past, it's been fitted, grolled down, because you can see the scoring there. And then ultimately someone's just removed that whole section, which included the choke, which is why I've got no choke on my carb. So it's a bit of a history lesson. I'm following everybody else's work as I go along. Now clearly what I could do is literally angle grind that off. I could whip that off. And I don't think that's not going to cause me any problems really. I only need probably 4 mil of clearance. It's about 3 to 4 mil it's fouling. So I'm probably going to look at a spacer, lift the carb up a bit higher. Yeah, I don't know. The problem is then though, I lift that higher, I've then got less room for an airbox here. So I've got less room, it's just going to foul on that bulkhead. Yeah, thanks for coming along. It's a bit of a wasted day today, but I think ultimately I'm going to have a lot of these, and I'm going to have a lot of days like this where I go, all I wanted to do today was swap the carb over, drive it onto the ramps, have a good old inspection underneath. I was going to show you guys the underneath. Not even got a quarter of that done. I'd have done better if I just didn't come down here. But welcome to classic vehicles, I suppose, especially ones that are so heavily modified by so many different people. I have kind of been told that the carb, the Holly carb that was on it, which has been butchered, wasn't the original carb that was on it when it was, you know, back in the early 90s. I can imagine that. Although the carb doesn't look great, it's been modified. It must have just been a nightmare to start. Like, how you've been sitting there for 30 minutes trying to get the bloody thing to start every day. Like, Jesus, I'd love to meet the people who owned it before. It must have been an absolute bitch to start. But I don't want it to be like that. I want it to just start. But, you know, I'm going to do this properly. So, thanks for coming along. I hope that the next video is going to be a little bit more rewarding and we get somewhere a bit closer. But I'm learning everything about this vehicle, and you're along for the ride. So unlucky. Thanks for watching. Take it easy, guys. See you soon.